your own impressions of your draw?
Well, I think it is what it is. So when we can discuss it and talk about it, I told Tom, I'm here today to talk about this and what I do. I do believe after Selection Sunday that the chairman or people of the committee should have to have a national day of press conference where you all they can be asked questions, not just for 3 minutes or 2 minutes, from people that have really covered college basketball throughout. And when you look at it, to answer your question, everybody said that we were a 3 seed going into the SEC tournament, so it doesn't look like the tournament helped us. Certainly I don't understand a team in the SEC that wins 12 games like Texas A&M and playing great basketball at the end, not being in the tournament. It just baffles me. It really does. And if that's the way it's going to be, if the conference tournaments doesn't mean anything, and if the teams that are already slotted to be in the tournament can't improve their seeding, we should stay at home and let the teams that are trying to get in the tournament fight for that one bid to give our league a chance to get more. So those are the questions I think that should really be asked and answered. And there's people out there much more thorough than I am in terms of looking at resumes and all that, but from a coaching standpoint, we're not going to. This is what we have, and we're going to go from here. But on a national level, and for our game, maybe a press conference where tough questions have to be answered. It helps people going forward. If it's scheduling that people aren't doing, they can help. They can take care of that themselves. But like I said, it is what it is, and we got to go play basketball, and I'm proud of our guys for the effort that they've done and put into all year long, and to have a chance to be part of this is what we work for.
Jim? Certainly the goal is to be playing your best basketball right now. Do you feel like the tournament illustrates that maybe you are playing your best basketball now?
Yeah, I do think we did some good things throughout. Each game had its own challenges within the games, and but we did a lot of good things. I thought, especially yesterday, we knew we were going to have to really do a good job of knowing that we've been basically a couple games playing our traditional big lineup, subbing 2 guys at a time, but we knew that with A&M playing small lineup that we would go to play that lineup as long as we thought we could, and then size down to our small lineup. And I thought the guys did a really good job against a team that, again, playing as well as any team in the country, should be in the tournament. And we guarded the ball well, and certainly they had 4 days where they just fought like crazy, and they fought yesterday to the very end. But I thought our guys really did do a good job with perimeter defense and trying to really guard the basketball.
Mike, Grant, and Ben.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about that lineup that you went with for basically the final 9 minutes yesterday with 4 guards and Fulke. What do you like so much about that lineup and what it's given you so consistently kind of in the past maybe 6 weeks or so?
Well, when Fulke's really locked in and playing well and doing the things that he can do, and because we can get him the ball there and around the elbow areas, anywhere there, guys cut off of him. Our movement's been good. We've become a team that when we're moving, cutting, moving those parts around, and that's when we're playing our best basketball. And he and our post guys really in general, they all passed the ball pretty well, but knowing that they were playing the matchup zone they were in, doing the different things, and we finally got settled down, and we were just really trying to keep our movement going, but he was good in that area, and we like it when he can get some space there to work with.
Me? Rick, yesterday was your first conference title since '94, right? Mm-hmm. How do you appreciate at this point in your career going on that kind of run versus when you were a younger coach with that Providence team?
Well, one, obviously I think it's extremely hard to win a regular season championship. I think it's hard to win conference tournaments, and all leagues are differently. And I could sit and talk about all the different ways that things play out through the years. But honestly, when you get to be my age and you look around, and when you have a group of guys like we have, and I've had so many wonderful, just unbelievable players that I know how hard they work, and now I will tell you, and I've said it before, I made the mistake many years ago of making it about me, and I was wrong, dead wrong in that, but now it truly is about the player. I guess I've matured. I've grown up with it, and I love it. I love the way those guys celebrated. I love it because they deserve it. A lot of emotion came out there because this year we weren't perfect. You know, we had ups and downs within our program that you have to deal with, but when you see it coming together and the effort that I know that these guys put in it and the respect that they really do have for each other, it's something that, and again, this group will, someday they'll be brought back here. Many years I won't be here, but they'll be brought back and, you know, be honored for many years to come, and that's something that they'll be remembered, and they'll be conference champions for forever. There'll be a bond there that they'll look back one day, and when they have children and grandchildren, it'll mean even more to them.
Rick, over those 3 games, was that the best version of Josiah that you've seen? Was that the best basketball that he's played?
He's played good. Josiah and Santi, they both of those guys, they don't get the credit for what they do on the defensive end. I mean, what they do, the play. I mean, Josiah's block there was an incredible block. What Johnson had to do guarding against Jackson yesterday, I mean, that kid had played an incredible tournament. Santi, you know, we were going back and forth, not sure we wanted to put Santi on because you know how important he is to us, but both of those guys just went at it with each other, and you know, so many people look at steals and things like that when they talk about defense, but it's the fix-it plays that Joe did, even when he's not making shots. But when he's starting to play at all 3 levels like he is, that's the player that we know he can be. And again, I think he's just getting started how good a basketball player that he can be.
Rick, you come out of an SEC tournament where you're playing everybody that you're familiar with. Now you go into an NCAA tournament where you're not familiar with these teams. Do you like that challenge of the scouting reports and trying to figure out what you can and can't do?
Yeah, but I think looking at it, you know, we've played, again, they're Longwood's again, I don't know a lot about them right now, but I do know that they're a guard-heavy team and experienced players, and when you go through a league, and again, I know how hard it is to go through a league when you only, lose 1 game and you win a championship, and we also know how the transfer portal works too, and so every game is going to be a hard game. But the scouting report in all 3 games this past weekend were different. So our guys have, I think, learned how to adapt to that quickly, but we'll get busy with it tomorrow. I wish our tournament would end on Saturday. I mean, you think about it. I mean, we end on Sunday late, get back here. You know, we were flying back through the selection show, then we turn around, we get put in an early afternoon game, but that's the way it is. And that's why I wish, as a league, we'd look at moving our tournament to Saturday, which will be hard to do because it's been brought up so many times, but I think everybody in our league, I know coaches certainly would like it to be that way.
Coach, obviously a talented, over here. Hey. Obviously a talented team, but could you pinpoint one thing maybe off the court that has led to the success that you guys had yesterday that separates the 43-year drought?
Well, I think anytime you win and you're successful, I do think it's leadership, and I talked a lot about it yesterday that when we ended last season, the first thing we ended it with talking about leadership and said we can't move forward until we get more from within the program, and you guys are willing to lead each other and some days talk to each other in a way that maybe you guys don't know how to do it because it's hard to be a leader. It's hard to be a team where you're willing to not in a bad way, but be able to say to someone during, hey, man, that's a tough shot. Hey, come on, man, take care of the basketball. Those kind of things. Hey, you got to block out. And because oftentimes when you deal with, young players, they're like, hey, worry about you or whatever. And so we ended our season talking about it, and we started a year ago when we started back in the, get ready for this year during the summer, talked about the same thing. And then as you go through a year, injuries creep in, outside, people, voices that these guys hear from their different camps that they deal with, but the leadership is what brought us through it, and it did come from within. It really did. We went through, like every team. I think every team does go through it, but when thinking of Josiah and Santi and the way they lead in different ways. But Uros's voice became a big voice, you know. I mean, I could go down the line with so many different guys. Zakai, just in the way that he came in and brought something that we didn't know all about it, which I don't think you do know, but you know, his DNA has had a tremendous effect on this team, and certainly Kennedy and the way he's continued to grow, and VJ Bailey. I mean, you can't ask for a better teammate than him for a guy that certainly has been a big part of our program. But I'd be disappointed if he and the other guys on the bench didn't want to play more, because they want to play. But for them to encourage their teammates, and I walked into the locker room last night right before the team got ready on the floor, and VJ Bailey had Uros in a corner, like you thought, like I see football player getting, but just saying, hey man, you got to get every rebound. You understand? I mean, VJ was telling him, and when you get that kind of interaction with the team, that's when you know you've got something special.
Rick, at this time of year, a lot of people say it's all about guard play. Do you buy that theory, or do you think there's a whole lot more to it than that?
There's a lot more. I mean, you got to have terrific guard play. You got to, you know, you've got to be able to defend the three-point line. You got to take care of the basketball. I mean, it's a team sport, and because of that, I mean, everybody's valuable. I mean, whether you know, when you go up against a team, if you got all guards and you run into a matchup where the other team's really big, either they've got to size down to you, or if you don't have big guys, what do you do? So I think it's all important, and I think the mindset of continuing to like get better. Like tomorrow, I think it's an important day for us. It's a big day of preparation, and we wanted these guys to enjoy what they accomplished yesterday, but they know, and I know what our ultimate goal has been, and the fact we're there with a chance to go after it is where we wanted to be.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you guys.
Well, we're aware. It's not the time. The Braves just traded for Matt Olson. Means Freddie Freeman is gone. Yeah. And I'm dead inside. I texted her, man, so I asked her his reaction to Freddie Freeman.
Did they not notice about to slump down and fall to the floor into a puddle?
At least y'all have Marcelo Zunbeck from domestic violence.
Go buy some players. Good Lord.
I'm trying to buy Freeman, thank you.
He's going to be a Dodger. He never wanted to go to the Yankees.
Shut up. How much would you love to have Josh Donaldson right
The most offensive thing you've done in history is forcing Josh Donaldson to shave.
Josh Donaldson.
It looks like a better man now.
Josh Donaldson just got in the way of Oscar.
Josh Donaldson's absolute roadblock. A traffic like a Jim fourth-year-old.
Braves would love to have Josh Donaldson as the DH. Last year.
Not Shea Langley. I was hoping Pache would be in the deal. Pache sucked.
I should have said Ronald Acuna just to spite y'all. You know the best part that you don't hear? The only player on the favorite. It's the only player
Yeah. You can have Pache. Take him. He's awesome.
Did Matt also make the All-Star game last year?
Yeah, he was awesome last year.
All right. It was such a special one.
Sick with from the training interview. No. David Evans tweeted, Stanford didn't know about it until just now after he figured out the city was possible. I didn't know about it. Launch sunrise. John.
What up?
Nice hat.
Thanks.
A little more Bahamas hat though.
Feel free.
All right, everybody good in the back?
You're not getting enough out of your handouts.
Feel free, it's allowed now.
Who wants to start us off? Jimmy, then Grant. Oh, cool, man, I didn't hear you. Sorry.
Come on, Josh.
John, how does your role change when you're playing with another big man versus when you're basically the only big man in the lineup?
I guess that's just really going from the 4 to 5, and I guess my role really, I guess, is the same, just kind of different positions, and I think the biggest change in that, whether I'm playing, like, for example, with Josiah or Urosh, with those two, it's probably on the defensive end, whether compared to guarding their 4 or their 5, but I think like when you ask that question, the thing that comes to mind is just rebounding on both ends of the floor, whether I'm at the 4 or the 5. I think that's the most important thing.
How did yesterday compare to the 79 conference? How did yesterday compare to?
I felt a lot older yesterday compared to when I won it in 79.
How did yesterday compare to? What was that, 17, 18 regular season title? I mean, just the run you guys have been on versus what you've done in the past.
As bad as I hate to say it, it felt a lot sweeter yesterday, and don't discredit that championship that we had in 17, 18, and those teammates. But I mean, a lot sweeter. I was a lot more emotional, and I think maybe because maybe I had a bigger role in this on this team compared to the last team, but. Man, it was great. Both of them were really good. There's not really much you can say.
You got to watch that lineup that Rick used a lot with Grant at the 5, Adam at the 4 a few years back, and now you're the 5 in that lineup a lot at the end of games. What's it like playing in that lineup, and does that remind you kind of what you guys had at the end of games a couple years ago?
I never really thought about it that way, but I guess it is very similar having a 4. I guess Josiah and Admiral are similar in their ways. They can play multiple positions, can defend a lot of positions as well, and having that stretch 4 and then playing with really only one big man. I think that whatever lineup the coaches put out there is the best, putting us in the best position to win. And I think we play to our strengths a lot, but then sometimes we have to play to what our opponent's giving us as well. And Texas A&M, they played a lot of guards, and so playing Josiah at the 4 a lot, that's what we had to do. But then sometimes we have to go big. So it really just depends on how the game is going.
John, was this weekend the best weekend of basketball that you guys have played this season? And why do you think this team has continued to get better throughout the year?
I would say, we're definitely playing some of our best basketball right now, and we're really meshing, really playing well together. And what was the second? Can you get the mic back?
Why have you guys gotten better throughout the year?
I would say, first of all, credit to our coaches for pushing us, and I think that's what Coach Barnes says a lot, is just getting better. And I think that kind of goes to us as players and listening to what they say, but also just us buying in and everyone buying into their role and really having each other's back and knowing what all we can accomplish if we just play together and try to get better every day.
John, in the SEC tournament, you've played all these teams at least once. Do you like the idea of going against an unfamiliar opponent like Longwood?
I don't really know how I feel about that. I was going to give you an honest answer, and that's the honest answer. I mean, when it comes to the NCAA tournament, I guess you could be in either position that you could play some teams that you played before, but then also play teams you've never seen. But I think that by the time that we play Longwood on Thursday, that we'll probably know Longwood probably better than any SEC opponent that we played. So our coaches, I know, as soon as it came out, I know they were all on it, getting us ready to scout them and see what we need to do.
Hey, John. Reese is driving back, and he wanted to ask me how you view your role being in the middleman in the 2-3 zone.
Middleman in the 2-3 zone. I like it. Kind of reminds me of, like maybe high school days or AAU days where I was always the big man. But I think that just shows sometimes I think we really pride ourselves on defense, and especially our man-to-man defense. But sometimes you just got to switch it up and throw in some zone in there. Maybe you can throw them off guard, and whether it's playing me in the middle or the wing, whatever it is, just trying to mix it up and, like I said, try to slow them down or whatever we need to do.
John, why is this year's team better equipped to avoid what happened last year in the first round? And just how much is last year's first round loss motivation for this weekend?
I think last year overall, just I've talked about before, but just with COVID and everything, I mean, it was not fun, the fans, the lack of fans, everything. But I think this year that we really know what's at stake, and we know that as of right now that our next game can be our last game, and we know how important and serious and locked in and focused we have to be for every game, and just taking it one game at a time and focusing on what we need to do.
Hey, John. I'm sure this weekend was a whirlwind, but are there moments that stand out to you or that are special to you already?
I was really thinking about, this whole thing. I mean, I really haven't stopped thinking about yesterday. And I was thinking of a few different things. I was like, first of all, I'm so blessed to be in this position, to be at Tennessee. Vol Nation is great. I love my teammates. I love my coaches. What stands out? I mean, just being there and being able to accomplish something that hasn't been done since my freshman year, and being able to win that tournament championship. Did nobody get the joke?
Your freshman year?
I said, being able to accomplish something that I haven't done since my freshman year. No, 79 was my original freshman year, yeah. Okay, anyways, but yeah. Yeah, come on, guys. This is empty. But yeah, just being able to do something that hasn't been done in so long and make history. Like I said, with my teammates and my coaches, and my family was there as well. So just being able to share those times with some people that I love, it's times you'll never forget. And then I think that the biggest thing that we talked about is enjoying that, but then focusing back, and there's still a lot of work to do.
John, kind of following that, it's your last trip to the big dance. Has that hit you yet, and what are your emotions like heading into this week?
It hasn't really hit me yet. Really this year, I was just lucky and so excited to play in the SEC tournament because of what happened last year, and to be able to win it was so fun. And so I feel the same way about this year, that just me being able to play with my teammates and then us playing the way we are. I mean, we just got to stay focused and keep playing together.
John, for you personally, how much different will this trip to Indianapolis be than last year's, when obviously you had so much going on last year at this time?
I hope it is like day and night difference. Me playing, us winning, those got to be the two biggest differences, that fans, and then really just the whole situation up there. It was not great, and hopefully it will be great when we leave.
You shared a very nice moment with Tom on the court yesterday in Tampa, and then Chad as well, both of whom you've spent a lot of time around the last 47 years. What were those moments like?
43.
My bad, like Wes, yeah. What were those moments like for you?
I mean, I was celebrating with my teammates, and I saw Tom, and everybody was celebrating, and he was just kind of off by his lonesome. So I just felt bad for him that he had no friends to celebrate with. So me being the kind and loving, caring person I am, I figured it would be a good gesture for me to, reach out to somebody that had no friends and was kind of by themselves when everybody else was celebrating. So that's when I tried to show an act of kindness to Tom. No, I'm just kidding. Me and Tom, I tell him all the time, I give him a hard time because he always tried to talk to me in a way that an SID would talk to a player. And I say, Tom, listen, I said, we're more than just an SID to a player. I said, we're a friend to a friend, like a bro to a bro. I said, you're not going to talk to me like we're more than SID to player. So, Tom has been one of my biggest mentors, like a big brother, over my time here. And I'm forever grateful for him. And I told him, we were talking the other day, I said, how often you think I'm going to come see him after the season, or when I leave here, and how often we're going to call each other. So we better stay in touch. He's got my number, so hopefully he doesn't lose it.
Anybody else?
Oh, you asked about Chad, too. I can't leave Chad out. Sorry. Chad, honestly, the same way. I really have the same relationship with Chad as I do Tom. But Chad's a little bit older, so Chad's more of a father figure to me. Chad fixes really good spaghetti, so I like to go to Chad's house for a spaghetti night. But as you guys know, over my time here, my 6 years, I've had a lot of injuries, so I've spent a lot of time with Chad, and so we've grown very close. And so being able to share this moment with those guys, it was great.
Why do you think you're deserving of tips?
I think I am deserving tips today because me and my teammates have completed something that has been done in 43 years, and I didn't tell you this, guys, but all the tips that I get today, I'm going to be splitting between me and my teammates. So it's going to be going around my teammates. So we won a championship. I was just trying to give back to them a little bit. That's all.
You guys don't have much to be splitting in there.
No, we don't.
Go get the 362,000.
Nope.
You seen how much journalists make? They'll make a lot of money.
You're making more than we do.
We're pretty poor. Proud.
Maybe it should be the other way around. I should tip you guys.
There we go.
Definitely, yeah. Grant has 2 kids to feed.
Yes.
Dang.
John,
Thanks, guys.
We really appreciate your honesty. When you said you were going to answer, that was very kind of you. Give Jimmy an honest answer.
I'm always honest with you guys.
I'm just glad you got a new hat, man. That Bahamas hat you've been using for a long time.
Hey, this is East Tennessee Iron and Metal. My girlfriend's family owns and runs it out of Rogersville.
How much did you tip
How much did they pay you to say that?
No.
you got you in an eye.
like your name, their daughter.
I'll be back next time.
I tried to find paper and I back and throw it.
Where did you get that?